Have you ever felt invisible to God? As if your prayers were hitting a bronze ceiling and coming up empty? Do you wake up every day feeling weighed down, unsure of where to go, unsure if the path you're on is the one God intended for you? I know exactly how that feels, and for a while I believed my destiny was frustration. But I was wrong. There is a secret, a prayer of just 3 minutes that can unlock God's plan for your life. It's not a prayer of request, but of revelation. I saw this prayer transform the life of a friend who was on the verge of bankruptcy in such a surprising way that it seems unreal. And today, I'll teach you how to pray this morning prayer so you can finally discover God's plan for you in just 3 minutes. The story I'm about to tell you isn't mine, but that of a man named Raphael. Raphael wasn't a man of little faith. Quite the opposite. His faith was the rock he stood on. He was a wood craftsman, a true artist. His small studio in the backyard of his house was a sanctuary. The sweet, woody scent of cedar and oak filled the air. His hands, calloused and strong, breathed life into the wood, transforming it into works of art, uniquely designed furniture. But Raphael's talent wasn't enough to pay the bills. The economic crisis was like an invisible wall. Orders were scarce, and debts were piling up. Every day, he watched his dream, his life's passion, crumble into splinters on the floor. Raphael's wife, Clara, tried to be strong, but I could see the worry in her eyes. The refrigerator was at its lowest point, and the electricity and water bills were becoming a daily nightmare. Raphael's prayers, once filled with gratitude and praise, became a diary of frustrations. Every morning he knelt in his dusty studio and begged, "Lord, give me a chance, send me a client. Don't you see my struggle? Don't you have a plan for me?" But silence was the only answer. The hammer in his hands felt heavier and heavier, the sandpaper rougher, and the smell of wood, once a scent of life, became the perfume of his defeat. The final blow came on a Tuesday, the worst Tuesday of Raphael's life. A letter enclosed in a yellow envelope arrived in his mailbox. It was a notice from the bank. The auction date for the property, which included the studio, had been set. He felt the ground disappear from under his feet. He had no more power to fight. All his prayers, his fasts, his promises seemed to have been in vain. Raphael, for the first time in a long time, couldn't pray. He simply sat on the floor amidst the sawdust and wept. He had no more words, only tears. And it was there, in that moment of total and absolute surrender, that something different happened. He asked for nothing more, he surrendered, and in that act of surrender, he had an epiphany. He didn't need to speak, he needed to listen. He had spent his entire life talking to God, but he had never stopped to listen. God's plan, he realized, was not something he would discover by crying out and asking, but something that would be revealed in silence. And it was at that moment that he created his 3-minute morning prayer, a ritual that completely transformed his life. He had nothing left to lose, so he decided to give it a try. The next day, he entered his studio, but instead of picking up his tools and starting work, he knelt, closed his eyes, and instead of begging, he prayed a 3-part prayer. The first part lasted a minute. It was the prayer of emptiness. He prayed, "God, I don't know what to do. I don't know what your plan is. I surrender to you all my fears, all my anxiety, and all my frustration. I empty my mind and my heart." It was a prayer of total and complete surrender. The second part lasted the second minute. It was the prayer of silence. He was silent, no words, no thoughts, no music, nothing, just the sound of his own breathing. He focused on listening, on feeling. He opened his heart and mind to any word, any idea, any whisper that came from above. Silence was the portal, and it was in the second minute of the second day that a subtle, almost inaudible thought came to him. The name of a client he hadn't seen in over 10 years. Pedro. That name seemed completely random, meaningless, and Raphael almost ignored it. But he remembered his purpose, to listen. The third minute was the prayer of action. He prayed, "God, I don't know why I thought of Peter, but I will move in faith. Show me the next step." This prayer wasn't about expecting a miracle, but about becoming a channel for the miracle, and he acted. He searched for Pedro on social media, and there he was. Pedro, who was once a simple client, had become a successful interior design entrepreneur in another city. Raphael, his heart racing but his soul at peace, sent a message. "Hi, Pedro. It's Raphael, the carpenter. We haven't spoken in a long time. I'm going through a difficult situation, and by God's guidance, I remembered you. I just wanted to know if you're okay." Pedro responded within minutes. Full of joy, he was about to begin a massive project for a luxury resort, and he was looking for a craftsman with Raphael's kind of talent. But it wasn't for furniture. It was to create a gigantic wooden mural with a unique design, a job that would require more than just talent. It would require a passion that only Raphael possessed. Raphael, who was about to close his studio, received a request for a quote that would change his life. The amount was more than enough to pay off all his debts and even start a new business, this time with a different purpose. He created the mural for the resort, and with the money, he not only saved his home, but also invested in a small, more modern warehouse, where he would not only create art, but also teach classes to young people, sharing his knowledge and passion. He discovered that God's plan was not just for him to be successful, but for him to use his talent to bless the lives of others. And it was in this new purpose that he found true prosperity. God's plan isn't always what we imagine. It's not about saving a dying business, but about opening a new door you never thought existed. God's plan is revealed in silence, in surrender, in the 3-minute morning prayer. It's not about asking the mountain to move, but about being silent to hear the plan to move it. Do you believe this really happened? Have you ever experienced something similar? If Raphael's story touched something deep in your heart, if you feel your life needs a new direction, it's no coincidence that you've reached the end of this video. This is your calling. I invite you to join us. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos, and leave your comment below. I trust the plan. Share this video with someone who needs new hope. Because when we share the blessing, it multiplies. And I'll see you in the next video.